Hey guys, and welcome to a little bit of a different video setup for me. We are not in my makeup room, so I don't have my normal backdrop and I don't have my studio lighting because today I wanted to film for you guys a makeup tutorial in daylight. That is right. I kind of was going for a bit more of a chill vibe today, and also I really wanted to show you guys the difference between studio lighting and natural lighting. In saying that, my studio lighting, to be fair, I don't have a ring light, so I actually find that my studio lighting picks up my skin texture and what my actual skin looks like really well, and I don't use any filters or anything like that when I film. But in natural lighting, you're going to see what the colors really look like and probably just get more of an actual representation of what my skin tone looks like and what the colors look like and all that kind of thing. So if that sounds interesting to you, then make sure you keep watching. But before we do, please make sure you hit that subscription button and that notification bell so that you and I can be friends. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram because there I post a lot more different looks and videos that I don't post on YouTube. So let's go ahead and start putting some makeup on in daylight. Woo! Now, disclaimer, because I am filming in my bedroom as opposed to my normal makeup room, because this room is the only one that has like a big window in front of it, the lighting is going to constantly go in and out a little bit and change. It is a cloudy day as well, so the lighting's not going to be consistent, so bear with me with that. Also, I don't actually know what this looks like because I've never ever filmed in daylight before. I've only ever filmed with studio lighting, so bear with me and we'll see how this turns out. Now for today, we are going to be using the Beauty Bay Matte Bright Eyeshadow Palette. This is a 42 color palette. It is ginormous and it is 35 Australian dollars, which is such a crazy deal for this amount of shadows and how big this palette is. It also comes with like a giant mirror, which is really cool. And I love that there is a line of neutrals as well in this palette. So if you don't feel like wearing color for the day, you've got those. So really, if you were kind of just starting out in makeup and looking for pretty much a one-stop shop, this would be a really good palette because it has literally every single color in it. But you can also get a shimmer one. This one's all matte just because I use mattes more. But you can also get a shimmer one where it's like a mixture of mattes and shimmers. So that's probably a better one if it's like your first ever palette. But in saying that, I have no idea what the quality of these shadows are like yet because I've never used a Beauty Bay brand eyeshadow before. So we are going to test that out today. I have a look in mind that I want to use. Zoomed you guys in nice and close so that you can see what I'm doing. But I had kind of already started this look and then I really hated the way that it was going and the way the shadows were performing. So I wiped it off and started again and then kind of did this eye. I'm not fully done with this, but kind of got it started just to see if I could make these shadows work because they're very powdery and very just powdery. They're very powdery and they have a lot of fallout. So they were a little bit more challenging for someone like me who's not a pro makeup artist to kind of work with, but I think I got there in the end. It's not, this bit here is definitely not like exactly how I want it, but it's not looking too bad. So I'm going to show you guys how I got to this point and then we'll go on and finish the rest of it. Okay, so the first color that I'm taking is this color blue right here, which is a really kind of, it's like a purpley blue. So I'm taking that blue color and I'm taking it on an angled Delium Tools brush and I'm going to pack this in stamping motions in the outer corner of my eye. And with these eyeshadows, make sure you pick up the color on your brush and tap off the excess as much as you can because otherwise you're going to get it all over your face. They are very powdery shadows. And then next what I did is I actually went into my Juvia's Place Warrior palette and I picked up this shade right here because the tones, the neutral tones in the Beauty Bay palette aren't quite exactly what I want, and also because they're so powdery, I just didn't find that they created enough dimension for what I'm going for. So I'm just picking up the tan color on a small blending brush and I'm just gonna slowly kind of blend out the blue and then add it into my crease like this one. Just kind of a slow kind of process. And then I'm just kind of winging it out a little bit in this little bit outer bit here, just like the other one. And instead of bringing it all the way down in here, I'm kind of bringing it more straight into the corner of my nose here. And now I'm just keeping that same blending brush and I'm picking up the tan color from the Juvia's Place Warrior palette and blending out that transition-y color that we laid down. Then I'm taking a Delium Tools bold lip brush. I like to use this to cut my crease. And I'm just taking the e.l.f. Cosmetics Camo Hydrating Concealer and I'm going to use this to cut my crease just like the other eye. And then I'm just gonna get my finger and tap out the edge here. And then I'm just picking up that blue color on the same brush again and just kind of really lightly tapping that into the edge of where the concealer is, just to kind of create that fade. And I'm just picking up a 773 shading brush from Delium Tools, and I'm picking up this color right here, which is called Nothing Else. And I'm just packing that all over where I've put the concealer. We're just gonna leave my eyes there for a minute and do the rest of my face, and then we'll come back to them. So I'm just taking some of the Barbara Sturm Anti-Aging Primer. Now I just have a tester of this. I haven't bought it yet because it is a very, very expensive primer, but I really, really liked the feel of it in store. So I got to test it to make sure it doesn't break me out. And it kind of feels like this really tacky gripping primer, which I really, really like. And it's Barbara Sturm, so like it's gonna have ingredients in there that are good for you. Also, these crows are back. It does not matter what time of day I film, these crows in my house, just not in my house but outside my house, just crow. So I'm sorry if you can hear them. It drives me up the wall. Just shut up. I've never seen so many crows in my entire life since I moved to this place. For foundation, I'm actually going to take a mixture of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation and the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation, just because this one's a little bit too dark for me. And in studio lighting, I can kind of get away with it, but I feel like in this daylight, I'm not going to get away with it. So we're going to take a mixture of the two, and I'm just going to take it on a sponge and pounce that all over my face. For concealer, I'm going to take my favorite concealer, and that is the Jouer High Coverage Concealer, I think it's called. And I'm also just going to take a little smidge of the Makeup Forever Conceal and Hydrate, just because this one's a super light shade, so it'll just bring a little bit of brightness to my face. And then I'm just going to buff the concealer out. Okay, so concealer is done, and we're going to move on to cream contour, and I'm going to use the Westman Atelier contour stick in Biscuit. And I just wanted to quickly put in a little preference here as well, and just say that I'm not doing my makeup really light and how I would in my like everyday kind of life. I am doing it full coverage, kind of the makeup that I would do for Instagram and to create these kind of more dramatic looks, because I want you guys to be able to see what those kind of looks look like in daylight. Normally throughout the day, I would use a lot more of a lighter coverage. I probably wouldn't use contour. I would use like a liquid bronzer or a cream bronzer, that kind of a thing. So I really wanted you guys to see when I create my Instagram type looks or these more dramatic looks, what they look like in real life. And then I know a lot of people probably like, well, why would you do your makeup different to Instagram to say your everyday life? And that's because honestly with studio lighting and photos and stuff, you kind of need to put more makeup on for it to really kind of show up in the photo. Otherwise you can just look really, the details kind of get lost on camera. Not always, but most of the time. And also in my everyday life, I kind of just am a normal person working. It's not really, Australia's not really like a full glam kind of a place, so it would look kind of a little bit weird if I went out in like full-blown lashes and everything. It's just not really the vibe here. I know when I went to America it is the vibe, and I think that's amazing because that's awesome, but it's just not really in Australia, at least from what I see. But if you guys do want me to do like my literal every single day makeup routine for you in natural day lighting so you can see what that looks like as well, let me know. I'm happy to film that as well because it is a little bit different, not a lot different, but a little bit. Okay, I'm just taking some powder now, and I'm taking my Fenty Beauty Lavender powder and pressing that in my T-zone like I do every single video. And then I'm just taking my Glossier powder for the rest of my face, also like normal. Let's go ahead and finish up the rest of the face. I've been using my Thrive Cosmetics bronzer nearly in every video because I'm trying to pan it. But today for something different, I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer. This is in the shade Medium. And bronze up the face with this. I do really like this bronzer, but it is got a really, really appalling shade range because in no way, shape or form should I be shade medium. Just saying, I'm but I'm quite pale. And I do really like it, but I think for the price point, like if you're not looking for a luxury makeup and it's like you're wondering like, should I splurge on this? I'm on a budget. I don't think it's probably worth it. I would get her Flawless, like the translucent powder before I would like splurge on this. But it is nice. If you like luxury makeup and you love her and you're kind of a collector, it's awesome. The one thing I do like about this bronzer is it's super buildable. So it's kind of hard to go overboard with it, which for someone like me, like that's a good thing because I always put way too much bronzer on. So for highlighter today, we're going to use the Dior Glow Face Palette. We're going to use this champagne shade right here. I actually had stopped using it for a while because I thought it was breaking me out, but I haven't used it in ages and I've still got the breakouts, so it's not that, so happy days. I just love this highlighter so much. It is such a gorgeous highlight and it doesn't emphasize any texture. I feel like the one thing I will say about daylight is you can't see how blinding a highlight is without studio lights usually, but you know, you get an idea of what it looks like in real life, so it's probably better. For blush, I'm going to use the Kosas powder blush. It's in the color Papaya in the color duo. And I'm just taking it on a highlighting brush from BH Cosmetics. I used this brush the other day and I liked how nicely it kind of diffused the color over my cheeks. And now I'm just taking my Anastasia Dewy Set Spray and just bringing some hydration back to my skin. Okay, so we are on the home stretch. We're just gonna finish up my eyes and then we've just got lips and we're good to go. So we're gonna take this color Just Peachy, which is this really light orange shade right here. And we're just gonna pop this into our inner corner for a little pop of color. And then I'm just taking the Juvia's Place palette again and using this tan color and running that under my eyes. And I'm sorry that I've used multiple palettes in this tutorial. I don't normally like to do that at all, but I'm not stoked with the quality of that Beauty Bay palette, to be completely honest with you. So, and then I'm just taking my Linda Hallberg Core Crayon in black and lining my upper waterline. And just taking my Grayish Core Crayon from her and putting that in my lower waterline. Okay, then I'm just taking my Essence Volume Stylist mascara and running that through my lashes. And then just popping on some outer corner lashes. And then I'm also just gonna put a little orange jewel right on the inner corner of my eye. For something fun and to distract from how bad I did my inner corners, so both worked. So super last steps, I'm just going to use my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray and then we're just going to do lips. So I'm going to keep it neutral. We're going to use my Lip Heroes Nude for You lip pencil like I do every time. And then I'm going to take my Morphe Court lipstick and put that all over. It's like the perfect deeper nude. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of my Fenty Makeup Break and put that in the center just to lighten it up a little bit. Okay, so this is the finished makeup look in natural lighting, just so that you can see up close and personal what my skin looks like in real life with texture and pores and all of that stuff. So actually I feel like it came out really, really nicely. I think it looks pretty true to color from what I can see on my monitors. So let's see what this looks like when I'm editing it back and how I feel about it. But it's actually looking really nice. And I think because I didn't use studio lighting, I definitely used less makeup, because in studio lighting, like I've said before, it highlights all of your imperfections quite drastically. So you kind of feel like you put more makeup on to cover them up, when really you don't need to, because in real light you can't see them. All right, guys, this is the finished makeup look in natural lighting. I hope that you enjoy it. This is exactly what my skin looks like in real life. Let me know if you want a everyday makeup look done in natural lighting, so you can see what that looks like for my skin type. And also let me know if you want more tutorials in daylight if you enjoyed this. Now, just quickly, this Beauty Bay Bright Matte Palette, I think the color scheme is awesome. I think the price point is awesome. Like the uniqueness of this palette gets an A+ from me, but the quality gets probably like a C from me. I know Morphe's a controversial brand at the moment. I think it's a lot better now that they've dropped Jeffree Star. I'm happy to keep supporting them from that fact, but I will say that their quality is probably triple times better than this quality that I used today. I'll continue to play around with this palette just to kind of make sure that it wasn't just particularly the shades that I used, but I did use quite a few and they all seemed very similar. It's just super powdery, so much fallout, and you don't get a lot of pigmentation or blend off from how powdery they are. So I personally would recommend picking up a Morphe palette if you're looking for something in that price range. I think they're a lot better quality than this one, but I will keep playing with it and I'll let you know in the description box down below how I feel about it. If you liked this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time. Bye!